let's dive right in to the here and now.
Perfect.
I was reading this excerpt from The Here and Now, Embracing Presence for a Harmonious Future.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I got to say, I was really kind of hooked by this whole thing with the mynah birds.
Yeah.
In Huxley's Island.
Right.
Imagine just like
Okay,
walking down the street.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you hear, attention, here and now, boys, from a bird.
It's such a striking image.
I know.
It really is.
It makes you think, like, could we actually bring something like that
Right,
to
yeah.
our world?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Huxley really uses that to emphasize this whole society built around presence.
Yeah.
And it really begs the question,
Yeah.
could we do something like that?
Without the birds.
Even without the trained birds?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, we've all got our phones kind of buzzing at us all the time.
Constantly.
So maybe we just need like a
Yeah.
tech version.
Like a digital mynah bird or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But it really does make you stop and think about
It does.
how hard it is to be present
It is a real struggle,
in this world.
especially nowadays.
Yeah.
It's a paradox, isn't it? We have all this technology that's
Mhm.
meant to connect us,
Mm-hmm.
but so many of us feel disconnected.
Absolutely.
Distracted.
Yeah, the excerpt talks about that.
It does.
How focusing on the past
Mhm.
or the future can really rob us
Absolutely.
of experiencing the now.
It really takes away from the richness of the present moment.
Yeah, like we're so busy thinking about tomorrow
Yeah.
or dwelling on yesterday
Right.
that we forget to just live today.
Absolutely.
And I know I do that
We all do.
sometimes.
It's a common struggle.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, this excerpt doesn't just leave us with the problem.
Okay.
It actually offers a solution.
Uh,
It talks about mindfulness as a way to reclaim our attention.
okay, so mindfulness,
Yeah,
we hear that a lot these days.
we do.
What does that actually mean?
So in this context,
Yeah.
mindfulness is about being aware
Mm-hmm.
of the present moment
Mm-hmm.
without judgment.
Okay.
It's about noticing your thoughts,
Yeah.
your feelings,
Mhm.
and sensations as they come up,
Okay.
but not getting swept away by them.
So not judging yourself for having those thoughts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just noticing them.
Okay.
And there's so much research now
Interesting.
showing how mindfulness can really improve our well-being.
So it's not just like some new age thing.
Exactly.
There's actual science behind this.
There's real science behind it.
Okay, so like what?
For example, studies have shown that mindfulness
Mm-hmm.
can actually reduce stress.
Oh, wow.
It can improve emotional regulation
Interesting.
and even boost cognitive function.
Huh. Like a mental workout?
It is. It's like a mental workout
Okay.
that strengthens our ability to be present.
Instead of letting those anxieties.
Instead of letting those anxieties or regrets run wild, mindfulness helps us just observe them.
Right.
Without judgment.
Without judgment. Okay. So mindfulness gives us that space
It does.
to choose how we respond to
Exactly.
a situation rather than just.
Rather than just reacting automatically.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of reacting automatically,
Mhm.
the excerpt also connects mindfulness
Yes.
to something else that really
Okay.
caught my eye.
Yeah.
Overcoming bias and prejudice.
That's a really interesting connection.
Yeah, how does that work?
So the author argues that a lot of our biases,
Okay.
which often cause misunderstandings
Mm-hmm.
and conflict,
Right.
are actually rooted in our past experiences
Interesting.
and unconscious beliefs.
Okay.
So they're kind of coloring how we see things
Mhm.
without us even realizing it.
So it's like we're walking around
Yeah.
with these invisible filters
Exactly.
that are distorting how we see the world
Exactly.
and the people in it.
And the people in it.
Yeah.
And mindfulness can help us see those filters. Okay.
By bringing our attention to the present moment,
Mm-hmm.
we can start to notice those judgments
Okay.
and reactions
As they come up.
as they happen.
So instead of just blindly reacting,
Right.
we can actually choose a different response.
Exactly. Mindfulness gives us that space to pause,
Okay.
question our assumptions,
Mm-hmm.
and choose a more compassionate approach.
And that can make things
Yeah,
more harmonious.
It can create a more inclusive and harmonious environment for everyone.
Yeah, that's a really powerful idea.
It is.
But let's be real. We can't live in a bubble.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
constantly...
Bombarded with information
yeah.
and technology.
Yeah, how does that all play into this
Right.
this whole here and now idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like technology's everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's pulling us away from the present.
Yeah. It often feels like it's doing the opposite of connecting us.
Right.
The excerpt actually addresses this.
Oh, does it? Yeah, it acknowledges all the amazing advancements we have,
Mhm.
but it also warns about falling into this trap of distraction.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to get so caught up
Yeah.
in the constant stream of information and notification.
Yeah, like we're always checking our phones.
Exactly.
And it's like, are we really connecting?
Right. Are we actually connected?
Or are we just more isolated?
Or are we just ending up more isolated and drained? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But it's not saying we should just abandon technology. It's more about being mindful.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, it suggests a few things.
Okay.
One is setting intentions.
Okay.
Like, before you even pick up your phone, ask yourself what you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
You know, is this really the best use of my time right now?
So being intentional.
Exactly. Be more conscious.
Not just scrolling out of habit.
Right, not just scrolling or clicking just because you're used to it. Another good tip is to be aware of the time you spend online. You know, setting some boundaries around your screen time.
That's hard.
I know, it's tough.
Especially with how phones are designed now.
I know, they're designed to keep us hooked.
Yeah, but even small changes can help, right?
Absolutely. The excerpt even says that, you know, it encourages us to try things like turning off notifications.
Okay.
Maybe even having tech-free zones in your home.
Oh, I like that.
You know, or even scheduling a digital detox.
Yeah, like a digital detox.
Yeah.
We could all use that.
I think so. To reconnect with ourselves and the real world.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about limiting technology.
Oh,
The
no.
excerpt also talks about how we can actually use technology
Right.
to enhance our presence.
So using tech to be more mindful.
Exactly. It sounds counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But there's actually a growing movement around this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Things like apps for meditation. Or even promoting gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And even to help track your attention.
Wow, that's amazing.
And some platforms are even using virtual reality
Really?
to try and cultivate empathy and connection.
That's really cool.
It is, isn't it?
So we can actually use technology to help us.
Yeah, it's about making it work for us,
Yeah,
not against us.
I like that.
You know, it's about remembering that technology is just a tool.
Right.
It's up to us how we use it.
Right, to make sure it aligns with...
Yeah, to make sure it aligns with our values.
Yeah.
And helps us.
And actually helps us.
Yeah.
So it's all about that balance.
Exactly, finding that balance. But, you know, the excerpt also talks about the role of community
Oh, interesting.
in all of this.
Okay.
You know, how important it is to be around like-minded people
Okay.
who are also committed to mindfulness.
So finding your people.
Exactly. Finding those who get it.
Yeah.
Who understand the value of slowing down.
Right.
And being present.
Yeah.
And connecting on a deeper level. It doesn't even have to be a formal group. Oh, okay.
It could just be talking to a friend about it.
Okay.
Or sharing resources and practices you find helpful.
It's like creating these little pockets of presence
Yeah, I love that.
that can spread.
Yeah, exactly.
And the excerpt says that those efforts
Mm-hmm.
can help create a more just and compassionate society.
A more just and compassionate society.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
How does living in the here and now actually lead to a better world?
Right.
That's a pretty big leap, though, right? Going from just personal mindfulness to, like, creating a better world.
It is a big idea.
How does the excerpt make that connection?
Well, it goes back to that idea of interconnectedness.
Okay.
The more present we are,
Mm-hmm.
the more we start to see those connections between ourselves,
Yeah.
others, the world around us.
Like we're shifting from a...
It's like shifting perspectives.
Yeah.
From just focusing on yourself
Right.
to seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah, so instead of just seeing ourselves as
You
individuals...
start to see that we're all part of
Yeah.
this bigger.
A larger web of life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And how does that change how we interact with the world?
It changes everything.
Okay.
It fosters empathy,
Mm.
compassion,
Okay.
a sense of responsibility
Oh, interesting.
for the well-being of everyone.
For others and the planet.
And the planet, exactly.
It makes sense, though,
Yeah.
if we're all connected, then harming someone else
Right.
is ultimately harming ourselves, too.
Exactly. And the excerpt actually uses this term,
Okay.
ethical mindfulness,
Okay.
to describe this view.
What does that mean?
It's about realizing that our actions have consequences
Okay.
that go beyond just us.
Beyond just us.
Yeah.
So it's about taking responsibility for our choices and understanding that even small acts of kindness
Even small acts
can have a ripple effect.
can have a ripple effect. Exactly.
And the excerpt says that as more people
Hmm.
embrace this way of being,
It can lead to
a collective shift
yeah,
towards a more harmonious society.
that's a beautiful thought.
It is a nice thought, isn't it?
But how do we actually get there?
Right.
You know, it feels like we're facing a lot of challenges as a society.
There are a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
And the excerpt acknowledges that.
Okay.
It talks about things like inequality,
Yeah.
environmental problems,
Right.
political polarization.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So mindfulness isn't just about
Right.
personal peace.
It's not just about personal peace, no.
It's also about engaging with.
It's about engaging with these issues and working towards solutions.
Okay, so taking action.
Yeah, bringing that mindfulness
Mm.
into how we participate in society.
Okay.
How we vote,
Right.
how we consume, how we treat each other.
So using those same principles
Exactly.
of mindfulness to try and create change.
To create change in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's like we're applying those same principles to the larger systems and structures.
That shape our world.
Exactly.
They're like planting little seeds
Yeah.
of mindfulness.
That can hopefully grow.
Yeah, into a more just world.
Into a more just and beautiful world.
But it all starts with each of us,
It
right?
does.
It's a good reminder
Yeah.
that even small actions can make a difference.
They can.
Yeah.
And the more of us who do it, the bigger the impact.
It's like we're all part of this big experiment.
It's a grand experiment in conscious evolution.
And the here and now is where it all begins.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Well, thank you so much for
Of course.
taking us on this deep dive
It's been my pleasure.
into the power of presence.
It really has.
This has been such a thought-provoking conversation.
I agree.
And I think a good reminder for all of us.
The present moment is all we have.
Yes.
So we might as well embrace it.
Absolutely.
And use it wisely.
Deep divers, we hope you enjoyed this exploration of the here and now. We encourage you to take some time today to practice presence.
Yeah.
Savor those small moments.
Be present.
And connect with the world around you.
Yes.
And until next time, stay curious.
Stay present.
And keep diving deep.
Absolutely.